Hello and welcome back to Probably OK's Topical Rainforest, the podcast where we pick 3 random topics and then choose one to discuss in great detail. I'm Mike.
I'm Sean, and you actually you kind of got it wrong, Mike. We generate. We randomly generate. We don't pick.
You're interrupting me already.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. You got it pretty good. Oh, and then we do have a guest this week. Introducing my sister.
Hi, I'm Chelsey.
She's the oldest and I'm the second oldest. And we did a lot of crazy stuff growing up. We did all sorts of funny audio tapes. And I think like in high school, we did some like radio show stuff.
Yes.
Fake radio show stuff. So we've always been making creative stuff together. But then she got married and had kids. And we've
lived pretty far apart over the last few years. But I think something about COVID-19. This is the
19th one.
The COVID-19 made us realize that distance didn't really mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
So, like you guys are doing this podcast over long distances. Oddly enough, Sean and I are in the same room.
Don't tell them that.
Today.
What? Pretend you're still in Colorado.
I am not.
Oh, actually, she's in Colorado.
I'm not beaming in. I am actually visiting and not socially distancing with Sean very well. But we isolated pretty much all year, so I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, but I guess it's just ironic because we've been making Probably Okay for 10 years, and Chelsey and I were like creative partners growing up, and she's never been in anything Probably Okay, I don't think.
No, not even a cameo. I think our first foray into audio drama together was we did a long Batman and Catwoman series. Where Catwoman would always break out of jail and end up tricking Batman into letting her out. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I was Batman, of course.
Yes. We did some talk shows. I did a lot of talk shows with my friends and didn't always have Sean as part of them. So I had some practice before we did a couple as young adults. And then I was just always around for the early video editing days when he got his high 8 Super 8, what was it?
Yeah, so I had my first video camera that I saved up for, and Chelsey and I, you were in a couple videos. You played like an old lady in one of them.
Yeah, we were going to do a remake of The Village, and
yeah.
I have red hair, so I had some affinities with Bryce Dallas Howard and thought I could play the red-haired girl, and we had me on crutches instead of blind.
Someday I will edit the footage. We didn't finish filming it, so I was like, what am I going to do? Back then I was like, I can't release this unfinished. It will tarnish my artistic reputation.
Just make a trailer.
I will at some point. So anyway, that's Chelsey and I. And Chelsey's finally in Probably Okay.
Chelsey, it's good to have you. It's good that you're finally able to, after all these years, join us for one of these amazing productions.
You know, the podcast doesn't really count, but we'll just pretend it counts.
It counts.
Okay.
It counts.
It counts.
Okay, are you guys ready to go into the rainforest, the topical rainforest?
I better get my pith helmet on.
Put on your waders.
Khaki shorts and some hiking boots.
And let's go. Welcome to Topical Rainforest. Okay, I am going to generate 3 topics. So are you ready for the first topic?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to push the button. Okay. Here is the first topic. Sports.
I'm sorry.
Are you afraid of sports?
I don't know why I reacted like that. There's nothing wrong with sports. It's a good topic.
I tried to play soccer in grade school. It was indoor soccer, and the ball would always just get in a corner, and then we just kick each other in the shins. And I only did that for like a week. I think that's the only sports I've ever played.
I played baseball when I was probably preschool.
Wow.
And I remember all of the ball would be hit into the outfield, and 10, 12 kids on the team would all run for the ball at the same time and end up in a pile. And I would just stand where I was and watch them and think, I don't need to go over there. Someone else is going to get it anyway. So what's the point?
You were just as smart then as you are now, Mike. Which is either like means you're a genius or you are still a child.
I think maybe it means I have very low sports IQ.
We haven't picked this topic yet.
Okay, so that's just a thumbnail
Yeah.
sketch of
All right,
what
so now we
could
got to
come.
randomly generate the second topic. So remember, number 1 is sports. I'm gonna pull the lever. Pull the lever. Okay. Holidays.
Do you actually have a lever?
Yeah, there's a big lever right here. I just pulled it. Holidays is our second topic. I like I love holidays because probably okay is like 50% of our videos are holiday themed videos.
Did you know that every day is a holiday?
Really?
Actually,
Like-
multiple holidays.
Officially, like every day, some country or
National
nation.
Day of...
I don't know. I guess that I'm saying that as if you count like today is drink coffee on your back porch day,
Yeah,
then every day is a holiday because every day has something nice like that.
yeah, but
you
it's
can do.
Autism Awareness Week, those kind of things.
there's like no like I don't think there's any like holiday oversight committee in America or internationally. So I think anyone, literally anyone, can come up with a holiday.
Called Dibsies. Does anyone have Dibsies on February 23rd
Yeah.
right now? You know?
Apparently there are multiple donut days because different donut companies did their own ones. So
Every day is donut day. So I think
Krispy
we've got to
Kreme,
keep
Yep.
maybe with the holiday thing, we need to make a rule that it's like real holidays, not
real holidays.
not-
Yeah,
not
of course.
fake
Okay, so
holidays.
if we pick, Chelsea, remember this. If we pick holidays, we only can talk about real holidays.
Real holidays.
Okay. All right. Third
Donut
topic.
Day is a real holiday.
I'm pushing the giant red button. Okay, here it is. Shoes. Oh, well, we've got a woman on the podcast, so of course we'll talk about shoes.
If you go make me a sandwich, I'll talk about shoes.
I have some
How's that?
shoes.
What? What?
Special
said
shoes.
I have some shoes. I wear them sometimes.
Okay. Well, before we talk about shoes, let's decide if we're going to talk about shoes.
Do we get to vote?
Yes, we get to vote. And yet, last podcast there were only 2 of us, so it was really we had to come to an agreement. It was pretty difficult.
Okay.
We had a big fight, but this time you're the tiebreaker. Okay, so
I'll be the tiebreaker if you guys both...
sports, holidays, and shoes. 3 juicy topics. Mike, what do you want? What are you picking?
I'm kind of leaning towards sports, even though my reaction to that was kind of like, what?
Yeah, you were freaked out.
I was.
I think you're secretly afraid of sports. I think it betrays this weakness.
That's
this
fine.
deep
Last time
fear
we
you
talked
have.
about we talked about our fears.
You
So
didn't
this
tell us your
week-
true fear, which was sports.
This
What about
week
you,
we
Sean?
get to confront our fears.
You
Or
know,
my fear.
I know sports are great and holidays are great, but I kind of like shoes, because it's just such a random topic, and I've got stuff to talk. Believe it or not, I have things to say about shoes. I've got stuff. I got juicy stuff that I can say about shoes.
I believe
Well, I
it.
think
Okay,
if
Chelsea's
I
the
get to
tiebreaker.
break the tie, I think I'm going to choose sports.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
go with
sorry,
mine.
Sean. No shoes for
So-
you.
I was just gonna say that every time. Do you ever do that thing? I just want to say this really quick. Do you ever do that thing where you have to go outside but you don't want to untie your shoes and put them on, retie them, so you slip them on high heels, and you walk outside
With your feet
with your
hanging
feet halfway in your shoes. Do you ever do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really dorky.
Yeah.
I want to make a probably okay where someone does that and then a zombie attacks him and he's like, oh no, and he's
I forgot to put
hobbling
my shoes on.
around.
Yes.
That
Lace-up
person's dead.
shoes
Yeah.
are essential for escaping zombie attacks.
It's just frustrating. You just got to go outside for a second. You don't want to unlace your shoes, put them on, relace them, tie them. Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry. But we're talking about holidays.
Shoes.
We're talking about holidays. So
Shoes.
Shoes? Wait.
Sports.
Sports.
We're talking about
sports.
sports shoes.
Sports. Oh, there are shoes in sports. So I could still talk about shoes.
No, you can't because Mr. Mike here has chosen sports.
Well, you chose
I
it.
would like
You-
to start
you
with
went
a
with it.
question.
Okay.
In your youth, what sport was the one that you could exude the most confidence or competence in? And what
Ooh.
sport was the one that you avoided at all costs due to perceived weakness?
All of them.
Sword fighting and basketball.
Oh.
Okay.
I was really good at sword fighting with wooden swords that I made myself in my basement.
Fencing.
It was just sword fighting.
Well, okay.
And I was really mad that all my junior high friends didn't think that sword fighting was a real sport. And I was terrible at basketball. And basically I would go to youth group and all the guys would play. All the guys were jocks and they would all play basketball really well. And I would just kind of either look really stupid and get laughed at or sit on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same when it comes to basketball. But so I'm going to ask a question.
Wait, you can't ask a question after Chelsey.
I'm going to stay on topic, but
Okay.
the question is just when we're talking about fine motor skills and gross motor skills.
What is gross motor skills? I've never heard that.
Isn't that
expression.
like full body motions where you're like trying to catch stuff or throw things or kick?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas fine motor skills, using a pencil to draw a picture or play a flute.
Or
Yeah.
putting beads on a string or, yeah.
Which isn't
Yeah.
sports.
So anything that involved gross motor skills like kicking balls, throwing things, using a baseball bat, I did not do so well at those. But I was a good runner, and I think that's kind of different than your gross motor skills sports.
So did you do track and field at your school?
Not in school, but more like elementary school years, as something in the evenings. It wasn't related with school, but I did track and field type stuff.
Did you ever do the thing where you pick up a big rock and you spin in a circle and throw it?
Discus?
No, shot put.
Shot
Shot
put.
put,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
That was one I always wanted to do.
I'm not
Javelin.
strong enough for that.
Javelin. Yeah. It's funny because Chelsey and I were homeschooled, so we basically just hung out at our house and read books and stuff, which was great. But we did not have. If we wanted to do sports, we had to do extra. We had to do after school stuff. So I did that soccer thing in grade school. But after that, I was just I was so into history and reading, and I just wasn't interested in sports. So, did you ever do sports, Chelsey?
I felt semi-competent in tennis. We took a tennis
That's right. We took tennis.
course
Ooh,
for a while.
I did play
love
tennis.
If I was allowed to just play a sport on a regular basis, not that no one's limiting me now, but I just haven't taken that initiative. I like tennis. I think it's a good level of exercise. It's a good amount of full body workout, but without being so crazy like basketball or soccer.
I just remember that after we were done with tennis, we did it for a month or a couple months, and then it was done.
And we practiced for a while after that.
Then we just used the tennis rackets as weapons.
No, and we had some modified versions. We would try to play tennis in the street out front of our house, and then when a car came, we'd have to yell "car," and I'll get on the sidewalk and wait for the car to go by.
You tried to hit the cars with the tennis balls, didn't you?
Not exactly. We had, how the road asphalt often has a center line, so that was useful in delineating the parts of the tennis court. And then we would use landmarks on the side of the road to show the end line, the back line. And now I'm going to betray my ignorance because I can't remember all the names of the lines.
Love.
Love, 15, 30.
Hitting the ball.
Yeah, the score is crazy.
The net.
Yeah.
Those are the things I know about tennis. Mario.
I played tennis too. I played tennis a lot.
Your folks are really into tennis, aren't they?
They are really into tennis, and so I was as well. And I loved it. I played tennis a lot, probably more than any other sport, that class of sports. And I tried out for the high school tennis team, and I didn't make it. And I never played tennis again. Just kidding. I did. I played tennis again after that, but I guess I wasn't good enough at a sport that involved gross motor skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you ever play with your folks still? Do they still play?
It's been a long time since I played tennis. I tried actually. I was hanging out with a friend of mine a few months ago. This was actually, it's probably more towards the end of last year. And we decided to go across the street and play some tennis. And I was really surprised at how I barely even remembered how to hit a tennis ball.
Wow.
It had been way too long.
It's also the ultimate social distancing game.
Yeah.
You can stand 30 feet from someone to play tennis.
As long as you don't sneeze on the tennis ball, you're good.
Yeah. The touching the ball part. And my husband and I got tennis rackets for Christmas a few years ago, and we have not played once because we don't have someone to watch the kids while we play.
Oh.
Did you ever pretend that a tennis racket was a guitar?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
We used to do that, yeah.
In the middle of games.
Chelsey probably took good care of hers, but we used ours to hit basketballs, and we used it as a Star Wars weapon.
I have a question for Mike.
Yeah.
So you said you liked track and you liked tennis. What was the sport you avoided at all costs?
Oh, that's right.
Right. Well, I kind of said that anything that involved gross motor skills.
Yes.
And I was thinking about sports like soccer, basketball, football, and baseball. Though I think of all of those, football would have been the biggest one to avoid.
Are you familiar with the game Buck Buck?
No, never heard of it.
It was a youth group game. Do you remember this, Sean?
Our new youth pastor was mentioning how we never play that game because it's so dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Do you remember? I don't remember it. I just remember being afraid when people would mention it.
This is a game that I shunned because I thought it was foolish and not becoming of a young lady to participate in. But I know a lot of other people that thought, oh, this is fun. Why are you having such a big deal about it? But everyone sort of stands in a huddle, and they take someone who's not part of the group yet and have that person run and launch and basically vault onto the people and join the giant, it's almost like a cluster of people that are all like cha-cha line or something. Then everyone else, you just have to keep jumping on. Once you've jumped on, you have to hold on and keep the group together. But if you're jumping on, if you're in the act of jumping on, you're supposed to try to knock the group over.
That sounds pretty devastating.
Yes. It's not a game for people who don't want to get bruised or impacted in any way.
That makes me think of a sport that I saw a couple weeks ago. I don't know where people do this sport, but there's a pole, like a telephone pole kind of a thing, where there's enough surface on the top of the pole that you can like stand on it or sit on it. Mm-hmm. And one team has one person that goes and stands on the pole, and the rest of the team, like 20 people, stand around the pole. And then the other team of 20 people, their whole goal is to knock the person off the pole. And this is up like 20 feet. It is ridiculous. And so there's these people just piling on each other and wrestling with each other and pulling each other off the pole and like trying to throw each other to the ground to get the guy off the pole.
Wow.
I'm like, how do you not die?
Is that a greased pole?
Maybe you do.
Did they grease it?
Probably.
I would guess that would make it way more interesting. Have you ever mud wrestled, Mike?
We don't talk about that actually. That's a chapter of Mike's life that we'll make a film about it called Michael Golus Origins.
Oh, okay.
He started out as
we're never going to make a film out of that. Never.
Can we get Howard Shore to do the music for it?
Yeah, it'll be great. Really epic. Lots of like New Zealand choruses, singing Maori.
Yes, yes.
Maori. It is interesting. We were talking about that game Buck Buck. When I was in high school in the early 2000s, in junior high and high school, youth groups just did violent, dangerous things that hurt kids, and it was fine. It was actually like, it almost was like our youth pastor's goal was to hurt us.
Playing volleyball in a moving bus, for example?
Yeah, or like everyone using the same toothbrush. Like lots of things to make you sick or like get hurt. And
that doesn't sound right.
No, the toothbrush one I don't remember.
No,
but
I
do remember all sharing the same fork to eat a pie.
I want to say there was a toilet that was full of was it full of
Fruit Loops?
They filled it full of Mountain Dew, and then they put what are the Tootsie Rolls in it, and you had to like bob for the Tootsie Rolls.
Are we getting a little far afield here though? Because would that count?
Well,
as a
okay,
sport?
yeah, well, it is bobbing for apples.
Some people would call that a sport.
Why do you guys think that back then? Because now, like, I'm a youth group leader,
and your liabilities,
and we're so careful about everything. And I know,
I think
like,
maybe
people are more litigious, but
I was going to say people are more smart.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I just remember like parents wouldn't get mad if you came home with like bruises because it was just like, oh yeah, you're a kid, you're supposed to. I don't know. It's not like I wouldn't say that like kids and parents are like really like
fundamentally different,
stuck up or like sissies now. It's just different.
I don't know. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and maybe this is more opinion than it is based in reality, but
hey Mike, it's 2020. That's it,
right?
It's all about opinion.
I think about this because I've got a young boy who is going to do all sorts of sports and outdoor activities. I'm sure because we already know he loves being outside and is crazy. I'm trying to not be too afraid of him like doing crazy things and banging himself up a little bit or getting bruises and everything, because I think it's all part of growing up in good experiences and learning how to deal with it or just learning what not to do. But also being okay with getting a little hurt sometimes too, because that happens, right? I feel like there was this period of time where it stopped being okay, but maybe people are trying to transition back into, hey, we should be a little bit more fearless.
Maybe it's all of the kids who were brutalized. They all grew up and they're like, I'm gonna not let my kids do that. Like all the kids who played buck and had to get stitches. They're like, my kids are not gonna do buck. But now those kids are having kids, and they're like, my kids will do buck because it's fun.
Oh, I don't know. Again, I've never heard of that game. So
Chelsey has 4 boys, and they're pretty crazy.
I do, and I have some photo evidence that maybe you guys will have to put on this podcast if you.
Chelsey, it's a podcast.
Oh, whoops.
Wait, you have to describe the photo.
Okay,
we could transmit the bits in little beeps, and you could interpret
00100. Pixel number
exactly.
01000.
So this photo, just picture. I'm gonna.
We're gonna be at this for the rest of our lives, saying bits in ones and zeros.
I have said things to my sons like, "Do not put ice down your brother's pants." I have also said things to my sons like, "Stop, freeze, I'm getting the camera, don't do anything." And when that happened, they were ages 2 and 1, and they were both supposed to be napping in their bedroom. There was a crib and a portable playpen, like a pack and play. And we had the foolish idea of storing a spare mattress in that bedroom. We used it for guests. It was a really useful thing. And it was a full-size spring mattress, not an air mattress or anything like that. And it was up against the wall with the crib pushed up against it to keep it vertical. Well, they managed to tip over that mattress, and with it, the crib. So they were climbing along the short edge of the crib. So I come in after I hear this crash, and I see 2 little sons climbing on a turned over crib with the mattress on top of it. And I said, hold still, I'm taking a photo. Another time when the older 2 were 4 and 3, I took a photo because, do you remember the scene in Home Alone where he takes his sled and he goes down the front staircase in his house?
Oh, yeah. I
encountered that scene before the sled went down the stairs.
And did you stop it, or did you permit it?
I did. I froze them in place, and I got the camera in time. I think it may have been very near me. So there's a photo of my kids on a sled at the top of the stairs in our house.
And then they went down?
They didn't go down. They did not go down. They would have crashed into our closet
And Chelsey
door.
said, okay, go, I'm recording video. No. We're going to win. We're going to win America's Funniest Home Videos. Even if you need stitches.
Yeah.
The prize money will pay for stitches.
No, we didn't. And at the moment, those are the main 2 that I can think of.
Yeah.
But they have been a pretty... And to circle back, they don't really play sports. The most they have done is gymnastics, which I don't know if is a sport or just a physical discipline.
They're very physical, though. They run and tackle each other.
But they don't like sports. Like, I cannot get them to play catch. I cannot get them to throw or kick. They've played a little bit of soccer. They don't take to it. They don't play it on their own.
Speaking as a nerd or dork or a geek, I'll say geek. Would you call me a geek, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, sports bored me because there wasn't enough going on intellectually. Like, it's like, yeah, like baseball.
Oh, then you're missing something, I think.
I know, but like for me, as growing up, that's why I wasn't interested in it. I was like, let's like play a game of pretend when I was younger. Let's like make up a story and run around and make up a story. Or, when I was older, let's sit around and talk about stuff. Or let's go on a walk and talk about stuff,
I think it's fair to say, to not categorize sports as intellectual necessarily, unless you're, I don't know, studying some aspect of it. But there's definitely, breaking intelligence down into different categories, there's definitely intelligences that, if you're higher in these areas, then you'll be more into sports, or you'll be more adept at them. And I just feel like I didn't have those intelligences. I don't know which ones those are, but I'm sure whatever they are, I don't have them.
I love watching football now.
I like watching sports.
Yeah, and I used to not like watching, but now like watching football, like it's the one sport I enjoy watching because it's like strategic, so I can get behind it because there's so much strategy going on, and it's really, when that crowd's going and you're tired on a Sunday afternoon, it's really good to sleep to. That like lulling crowd sound. Oh,
my absolute favorite sport for that is golf.
Oh yeah,
I love a lazy afternoon, especially if it's raining out, and you have golf, some golf channel in the background, and I mean you're not even watching it, but it's just on and you hear it.
Yeah,
it's just so pleasant. And then I do watch occasionally, but
yeah. Okay. Favorite fantasy sport? Go. Mine is
Quidditch. That's easy.
Pod racing.
Pod racing.
Pod racing.
Racing's not a sport.
I can't think of any other ones. Is there something I'm missing?
There's sports in Lord of the Rings, right? No, there's not.
Really?
Well, they invent golf by knocking off the goblin's head.
Oh.
In The Hobbit. The Hobbits play golf, apparently.
My favorite fantasy sport.
J.K. Rowling couldn't be unique in coming up with her own sport. There's got to be more.
No. Didn't they have something in Dinotopia where they had to catch these rings on the
backs of the
while
flying
riding.
dinosaur, or standing on dinosaurs?
They would basically stand on a dinosaur as it went around a giant circus and use javelins to catch rings that were suspended above the course. I think that would be my favorite one, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah. The weird thing about Quidditch,
it's terrible.
It's
a terrible game.
The whole point of the game is two people trying to find a golden thing, and whoever finds it, everything that the other team did means nothing.
It's mostly just a giant game of distraction.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think that there's ever been anybody who's talked about Quidditch and hasn't insulted the game.
Yeah.
Anytime you talk about Quidditch, you just have to talk about how it doesn't work. Uh-huh. It's pointless. The rules.
And Rowling is a geek like me, and she's secretly coded into her books about how sports are dumb by creating a sport that is dumb.
Clever.
That's my hot take on that.
Regardless, it is a really fun idea. And it's fun to read.
They should have got rid of the gold snitch. If you get rid of that and it's just like soccer, that's
But then what would Harry have done? He wasn't good at anything else.
He could have been a guard or a scorer. They could have just focused on him learning how to throw the ball. Or he could have been the goalie, the magical goalie.
But then how would he have gotten past obstacle number 2 in the Chamber of... No, that was
the septic Chamber of Secrets.
The after the plant that tried to eat them. The keys, the flying keys. He wouldn't have been able to do that if he didn't know how to catch a snitch. It's important.
So
it's important. All the details are important.
Yeah, because catching a ball is not the same as catching a key, flying key.
No,
it's not. You can't use those skills.
The keys had wings. The snitch has wings. That's why Quidditch. That's why Quidditch exists.
Okay, here's how you fix Quidditch. Let's just fix Quidditch right now. You ready, Chelsey?
Sure.
We're gonna fix Quidditch.
Yes.
You can catch the snitch throughout the game, over and over again, and it only gives you 5 points. So then
that's good.
It's like 2 games
that's
going
really
on
good.
simultaneously, right? And it's a little when they would get a score, how many points would they get? Do you remember? I can't remember now.
Wasn't it 5?
Okay, so
10.
The golden
10
snitch
points.
Okay,
10.
so the golden snitch would be like 12 points. So it would actually be, it could be like a game changer at the end of the game or something, but it wouldn't be that much. I don't know.
Maybe it was 15.
And don't get me started about pod racing.
Nope, let's not start.
Like I said, racing isn't a sport.
Unless it's running.
Unless you're running.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah. I think I would consider anything that is I don't even know how I would classify it, but racing's a sport.
Yeah.
Climbing's a sport.
I heard
gymnastics is a sport. You said
Yeah.
you didn't know gymnastics is a sport. I would say it's a sport.
They do marble racing on YouTube. They literally make marbles race each other and record it and have an announcer.
Okay, but that's not a sport because
That's
it
just
doesn't
gravity.
involve any physical skill on the person. Like
the balls are.
It's a
competing,
sport for the marbles.
Is
Yeah.
demolition
I'll give 'em
derby
that.
a sport?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure,
Is
because it's a
horse
physical
racing
skill.
sport? Horse racing?
Yes, because the jockey is
Yes.
has to be
In tandem with the horse.
Is eating hot dogs a sport? Yes, it is.
yeah.
Because
Speed.
they do the speeding.
Especially if you
skating,
can.
where you do your thing and then give you a score that's entirely arbitrary.
In Awana,
absolutely.
you could find a Bible verse the fastest.
Yes.
That was a sport.
Sword drills where you look
They
up
called
your
it
verse.
sword drill.
Yep.
So
Oh, that's not
everything-
a physical skill though. It's a mental skill.
hey,
It's mental.
picking up
It's
a
not a
Bible
sport.
but you have
Okay.
to use your hands to turn the pages fast.
Rock, paper, scissors.
This could be a sport.
Is StarCraft 2 a sport?
Yes,
Yes.
Is
We agree on
chess
that.
a sport?
because video games are a sport now.
Yeah.
But is chess a sport?
If it's wizard chess, it is because you have to dodge pawns.
But I think they were working on getting chess into the Olympics.
Really?
They're always trying to get weird stuff into the Olympics,
Yeah.
like ironing, skydiving, and ironing at the same time. I heard about that one.
Oh.
Or
yeah.
there's
scuba
another
diving
one.
and ironing.
Yeah,
That's
there's another
fun.
one where you climb to the top of a climbing wall with an ironing board, and then you iron clothes, and then you climb down. I don't
I've
know
done-
why everything's about ironing. I guess there's just someone with a lot of power who just really likes ironing and is trying to
So
get it into sports.
can we put ironing in the random topic generator for next week?
No,
No.
because it's random.
Okay.
We have no control over the topics.
Yeah. But I will put shoes back in because I want to talk about shoes. I've got a lot to say about shoes. I could do a whole hour comedy special on shoes.
All right, Sean, we'll let you do your shoe video.
I might just upload a special like podcast where it's just me. Hey, this week
Sean
it's just
talks
me.
about shoes.
Let's randomly generate the 3 topics. Number 1, shoes. Number 2, shoes. Number 3, shoes. Oh, I guess we're going to talk about shoes.
And then silent. And then we're silent.
Well, it's been a pleasure being part of this illustrious podcast.
Illustrious.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Chelsey.
Thank you for inviting me. I was really honored, and it was a fun experience.
Okay, we're leaving the Topical Rainforest.
I gotta say goodbye too.
Yes.
And say thanks for coming. And also we hope to have you on maybe next year or in a few years.
Yeah.
When
5
we do our
years
next
from
one.
now.
When my kids are all in high school.
10 years from now. When we get out the next Gary video, which I've literally been sitting on for a year.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, we're leaving the Topical Rainforest. We're going to close the door and we're out of it. Okay, bye, Mike.
Bye.
Bye.